Hey y'all, it's Ari back with another video. This is week 3 on Wegovy. So, I got my notes here. So, basically, we're gonna be talking about all about meal prep, what kind of ideas for dinner meals, breakfast, things like that. With meal prep, it makes your weight loss super easy and super manageable, and kind of knowing what to do, right? So if you were anything like me, you're working, you're trying to work out, you're trying to take care of yourself, you're trying to do some different things, you need to meal prep, and being prepared is key. Okay, so my first week when I did Wegovy, I did start doing some meals. I went grocery shopping, and on my grocery shopping haul, I did just kind of a list of some short things that I want to kind of get started on. So for me, I knew that I needed a lot of protein, so I did get a lot of like lean meat, like ground beef, ground turkey, chicken breast, chicken tenderloins, things like that. So I got those proteins, and then also you can get protein powder as well. So I like the Premier protein shakes that's on the go. So I do that, and also I get a lot of foods like yogurt that has a lot of protein in it as well, to help me to be able to make sure that I'm eating a lot of protein throughout the day. So then also I incorporate with the protein, I incorporate a lot of fruit. So purple grapes, red grapes, oranges, kiwi, pineapple, but also with certain fruits, I also want to put that in there as well. Certain fruits have a lot of sugar in it, so try to stay focused on things that's not so high in sugar. So for me, I did like some watermelon, some grapes, some kiwi, and maybe some pineapple here and there. And I did a lot of apples. So I like green apples, and I like red apples as well. I'm more of like the red apples, more of the crisp apples. I can't remember. I think they're like red crisp or something like that. I like those, and I also like the yellow apples as well. But I do a lot with maybe peanut butter or maybe like a soy butter. So you have different alternatives whenever you are on your meal prepping journey, and also when you're eating a little bit where you need a little bit more protein. Okay. So with the protein, it does help you to keep a little bit more. I think with it helps you to kind of stay, regimented, and also balanced with your weight as well. And so for me, with me trying to lose weight, it's really helpful for me to stay kind of consistent with that. And so whenever I'm eating protein, your vegetable, well, your fruit, and then your vegetables. So on my plate, I usually try to have a lot of vegetables. So it could be like the salads or mixed greens, or cabbage, things like that. So spinach, cabbage. I don't eat a lot of kale as much anymore, but I do like the spinach and a lot of mixed greens. So, and cucumbers, things like that. So just kind of mixing it up as you go. All right. And so those 3 components for me, and then also having drinking a lot of water. Like I said before in the first video, you have to have a lot of water to be able to be hydrated and to feel a little bit more consistent with your weight loss. Okay, so that was my main thing. And so the next thing that I really do when I grocery shop, I kind of plan out what I want to eat, what I want to kind of have that variations. I'm more of a person that likes to have options. So when I'm throughout the week, I want to get enough food so I can be able to prepare, and I can just grab. It's already prepared for with me going into week 3. I'm going to get a little bit more creative, and I think I have lost that kind of creativity with my food and preparing my food, because we have fast food, and it's kind of easy to kind of get it, and it's super fast. So we tend to kind of focus so much on the convenience of things instead of just kind of taking the time to make it, in your house and with other people that you love. Okay, we're gonna switch gears here. The meals that I like to prepare, and what I found that works for me a lot, is a lot of maybe like the mini small salads. So fruit salads with different fruitless. I do have bananas as well. It's really good for potassium, and And if you can't get to something, like if you run out of something, bananas are a really good alternative to add to your pancakes with bananas. So if they're starting to get a little bit ripe or whatever, you can just put it in your protein powder and make your own, and then put a little, I think you can put a little bit of flour in it, and it mixes up into a batter, and you can make it into little pancakes. And so it keeps it kind of creative that way. And you can add blueberries, you can add different things like strawberries, whatever. And a lot of it for me with meal prepping dense meals, you know. So I get enough groceries to kind of last for that week, or at least 2 weeks in advance, so I can be able to make my meals for the week, or even my breakfast for the week. I'm not saying that I'm a pro yet because I'm still learning, but the first week or the first 2 weeks that I did my injections, I did start with broccoli, rice, and chicken breast. And so I did the pan-seared chicken breast, and then I did like steamed broccoli. I do love broccoli. I don't add cheese on it because it's just too much, so I don't want to do too much with that. But I like my broccoli steamed, and I can eat it just like that. And then also I can eat it raw as well. So I started with that for the first 2 weeks, and then I did switch to, for week 2, I did incorporate a little bit of sweet potatoes, broccoli, and some chicken as well. And the sweet potatoes, I like regular potatoes, really prefer, but sweet potatoes are not bad either. And I felt like sweet potatoes were a better fit as far as with, as far as like carbs and stuff like that. I didn't want to have a lot of white potatoes when I'm trying to lose weight. So sweet potatoes are a little better fit for me, and it was a little bit different because it's a little bit softer compared to your regular potatoes. So I had to kind of get used to that part. Not saying I'm not a big fan of like sweet potatoes, to be honest with you, but I can eat them, and I do like them, but they're not my favorite. But in this case, I don't mind making a change and adapting to what I need to do to be healthy. So the other thing that I really want to really focus on is making sure that when I am doing my meal prep, making sure that I have the right containers, making sure that I have the right like a scale or the amount measured for me to eat for that setting. So like I said before in the second video, you have to know when on Wegovy, everybody's different, but basically what I'm trying to do is making sure like when my body is saying that I'm full, that I stop. Because that's the thing, before, when I was telling you before, I tend to overeat. I tend to go forward and be like, oh well, I'll eat because I'm bored, or I'm eating because I'm feeling something, emotional eating. And I'm not afraid to admit that we all have things and stress that we're going through that we tend to overeat because we feel like it. And so you have to know that impulse control to be able to, say, hey, this is when I'm going to stop here. And so with that being said, I had to learn that, and even though it's been 3 weeks, get ready to be on the 4th week, I'm kind of excited and I'm proud of myself because I'm making those changes to kind of be better in a way. But basically with my scale, I actually bought it from Walmart. And what you do is once you make your food, you'll probably sit, like if you make all your chicken in your pack that you have for that meal prep. When you do that, you can sit your food on the scale and it will read out. I try to do at least about 4 ounces of chicken in each plate, and so I can be able to have everything to be pretty much balanced each day. So as far as with your fruit, as far as with your oatmeal, things like that. So I do eat some oatmeal in the morning. That was one thing that I did learn when, for me and for my body, I need to eat breakfast. I have never been a big breakfast person, but I have been a brunch person where I kind of like maybe mid, like 11 to 12 or maybe 1, I'll eat breakfast. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I definitely feel like I need that fuel throughout the day to be prepared and be successful. So what I started to do is I would have yogurt, strawberries, granola, and a little bit of honey in the yogurt. I can't pronounce it, y'all, so don't forgive me for the name butchering. Econos, whatever. chobani flips. So I usually either do those two type of yogurts in the morning, and then I'll have some water and probably a banana or whatever if I didn't add any fruit into my yogurt. So I have that pretty much throughout the day, and then also I would do a granola bar from Lidl, and they have really good whole grain not protein bars, what is it, Nutri-Grain bars. They're really good, and good. I think 4 grams of protein as well inside the Nutri-Grain bar. And so and then I'll have my lunch. So really, for the most part, I'm eating about maybe my breakfast is really, or this other thing, I'm sorry, I kind of thought about it afterwards. If I'm not having yogurt with that, I started to do, it's like sourdough bread, and sourdough bread is so much better than actual white bread and wheat bread to me. So, and then on top of that, I do like the Ezekiel bread, but it's a little bit too grainy for me. But I'm gonna try to give it another try and see. But I do try to have some scrambled eggs. I put avocado also with my eggs and my sourdough. So I put that on a slice of bread, and I have whatever fruit, and it keeps me full throughout the day until at least 12, and I'll probably maybe by like 10:30. So I'll try to get up early to do my breakfast, prepare my breakfast and everything, cook my eggs, things like that. But my breakfast really consists of my yogurt with some granola, a fruit that I choose, or if I've already pre-cut my fruit already, like my strawberries or my pineapple, or like maybe a banana or something like that, and I'll add that into, or blueberries, whatever I have, I'll put into my yogurt, and then maybe another little mini snack to go with that, and some water. And maybe I don't do, like I said before, I don't really like a lot of juice too much now. If it's not water or something light, lemonade or something like that, I don't want it. So then my lunch is pretty kind of light usually, so I usually kind of get like something like a salad with some grilled salmon, like a mixed greens, and make my own grilled salmon that way, or I can go and get it from a nice restaurant that I like to go to, and their salads are really good. And I kind of get like the dressing, I kind of keep it really light, maybe like a light vinaigrette, or maybe a French or Catalina. So I'm really kind of simple, but yet I wanted to make sure that I'm very intentional about what I'm eating. And so my dinners are usually kind of pretty much the same. I try to make sure that I don't eat too heavy. So I did mess up this week a little bit with ordering I got some turkey wings, and I was like, I don't know if I can eat both of these. So I'm probably going to eat one of them, and they got a little bit of rice and I think some collards. So I'll probably eat a little bit of that and save the rest for maybe tomorrow or something. But for the most part, my appetite is really good, but sometimes I do notice with me going into week 4, my appetite is like, you have to force yourself to eat a little bit. You gotta force yourself to drink a little bit more water when you don't feel really hungry. So, because naturally on Wegovy, it reduces your appetite. I hate to say it like that, but it does. And then also it does keep down that food noise. And if you're not familiar with food noise, it is when you are constantly thinking about food. That's all you're thinking about, because you're trying to you're trying to satisfy a need. You might be having a stressful day. You might be not in the best spirits that day, and you just might need some food. And sometimes that food noise is louder than your actual thoughts, and so you have to kind of judge what you're really feeling, So basically, you just got to keep your meals and your mind kind of focused on what your goal is. And so when you're on Wegovy, keep your meals very light, and also really, really full of protein and really nutrient dense foods, okay? But that's really what I wanted to make sure that I share with you, that week 3 was a success. Right now I'm kind of at a standstill with my weight. I'm still at the 239. I don't know, I'm but I'm still at a standstill right now at 239. So, which is good. We got one more week for this dose, and the dose that I'm currently on is 0.25. So, in the next week, I'll go up to 0.5 milligrams, and we're gonna go from there. So it's supposed to be a higher dose, and we're gonna see the the benefits from there. But for the most part, I hope that you guys have tried your meal prep, and if you haven't, it's okay. Also wanted to add in this last part before we wrap up is don't feel bad if you cannot buy groceries to prepare your meals. I'm going to tell you, if you haven't seen on Instagram or haven't, no one ever told you, Whole Foods has meals already prepared. Target has meals that's already prepared. Who else has it? Not Chick-fil-A. Chipotle has meals that you can get, like a catered meal, but you can turn those into family size meal preps for yourself. You can just order what you want, like extra black beans, whatever. And sometimes that is kind of like, and I would truly say, when you're first trying to focus on your weight, you tend to focus on, I don't have this. So focus on if it's already prepared, go ahead and just split your meat up. Costco has meat, like sorry, I seen something on my face, I felt like. But anyway, Costco has meat and the chicken breast already prepared and grilled for you. BJ's has it. Wegmans has it. So you have green beans. You got different things that you can kind of mix and match. And also another one. God, I just had it at the tip of my tongue. I think I already said it, but Wegmans has it. All of those different stores, you can get you some. And also, if you can use glass bowls, do it. If you can use glass bottles, do it. Now, if you have plastic, I have plastic too sometimes, but I would prefer to get the glass bowls because I feel like whenever you warm them up, because, I'm one of those people that, like, think too hard about, the environment and things like that, because I just want us to be healthy, technically. So I will prefer to get glass bowls to warm up our food and make sure that you put it on a plate that is glass or whatever the case may be, or, some heavy duty plates. Plastic are okay if you have that and that's what you're starting out with. You're not going to be shunned for that, but just think about it, in the future. But it's some stores and places that do have ready-made meal prep meals. If you don't know where to start, I say start there, because I did, and honestly, I'm going to think about doing it for next week. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel bad if you can't or you don't have the groceries or the resources to get ready-made meals or create your own ready-made meals. They already have some. You can buy maybe two trays out of Whole Foods. They have like the chicken breast that you can cut up, green beans, and maybe some red skin potatoes. They have all that in there, and you can just put it in your containers and stock it up for the rest of the week. And if you want to make some overnight oats, do that. Get you some containers from Dollar Tree that's glass and put them all in there. Make sure you wash them really, really good first before you put your food in there. But other than that, that's where you can start, So I'm not telling you anything that I have not done or have not thought about. So I just wanted to kind of leave you with that, because sometimes we kind of get kind of nervous about starting something new like meal prep, because sometimes it can kind of scare people away and scare people off because they don't have it or they don't have enough money, and groceries are high at this point. It is really expensive, and so I understand it completely. So it's something that I thought about. So just getting you some good containers. If you need to go to Walmart and get you a few containers to start out, do what you gotta do, or wherever you gotta go and get you some containers, and start where you at. And that's kind of my encouragement for this video. I hope you find this video very helpful. If you like this, or not if you like it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my video, and I hope to see you next week for week 4.